her in blue doing anything for cash. I want to scream.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome, guys, to my Big Brother Reindeer Games recap for episodes 1, 2, and 3, week 1 episodes. I know you were like, Tamika, Janelle, you said you were covering this, and
Well,
we weren't. And
we
then
weren't.
we watched, and it was good. And really, to be honest, I wish that Big Brother 25 was like this so that I'd feel like compelled to come back and cover it every time. But that is where we are. So, welcome to my co host, Janelle. Janelle, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I know we sound like hypocrites because we're like, absolutely not. We're not talking about reindeer games. Reindeer game. We're not talking about that. But as soon as we started diving into these episodes, all the excitement of the cast, we love it. So here we are.
And there's just no two ways about it. It ended up, well, the cast came out from hiding and they were literally like hyping the show up.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, don't tell me the show is going to actually be good. And I'm
And
like,
when they were hyping it, I still was like, okay, we'll see, but they were right.
they were,
They
they
were
were,
right. I
they
had
were right
doubts.
to hype it up. There was actually somebody who was like, oh, it's obvious that Big Brother and CBS has them out here promoting the show for money. I'm like, no, I really think that they believed in the product that they did when they competed in the house. And so they came out and they were like, we gotta hype this up. People have got to watch this show. So I get it. I think I understand it after watching it now. Absolutely every reason to hype up the show.
Yeah, I'm loving it. If you're a Big Brother fan and you know the quirky, campy, a little bit corny type thing that is Big Brother, this is this, that is this, but Christmasified. Like it's just full of Christmas.
Right.
Santas and reindeers, and I'm really, really surprisingly enjoying it much more than I thought.
So for me, this is my Christmas movie season. I don't watch anything else. And so I had real no intention of keeping up with the show except for to like watch it. And then they announced the cast, and I was like, damn, now I gotta watch it live.
Yeah.
But even still, wasn't thinking about covering it. It's like, oh, there. After the season we just had with Big Brother 25, there's no way that this season could be good.
Right. And the cast, honestly, was the first thing that got me excited.
Yeah,
Last time we were here, we were talking Big Brother 25. We didn't know what this cast was going to be. So once I did see the cast, I was like, okay, but like, still not super excited. Then the cast got released from taping and they were talking about it, hyping it, and I'm just
yeah,
like, okay, yeah. So they were right. I've
yeah,
eaten my words. I
yeah.
had very, very low expectations. That is what Big Brother has taught me to have,
Mm-hmm.
and they have actually succeeded them, exceeded them. Jesus,
Well,
I can't talk
is
today.
it because we had low expectations though that we are getting the appreciation for the show that we are? I'm wondering because I think between the cast, there were some people who even saw the cast and was like, nope, nope, not watching it. I don't care. Even with that cast, I ain't watching it. And I was like, no, no, I mean, I don't have the ties to some of these cast members that other
True.
people do. Like even with Josh, like my introduction to Josh was real. I didn't even when he started doing the challenge. I had stopped watching the challenge. Right.
Yeah.
My introduction to him is he was hyping up Taylor last season when she was in the house, and also he did a podcast with Sharon Tharp, and I was like, wow, like he really loves Big Brother. You could tell from what he is saying in there. He loves Big Brother. He loves Taylor, which something we can both, and I really appreciated his thoughts on the game itself,
Yeah.
and how it's evolved since even his own win. So I started following him, and yes, is he emotional? Absolutely. But I appreciate that. If you have a passion for something, I like passion. So I have, listen, I had a whole podcast called, where I was the passionate eclectic, and I, so I love passion. If you can have passion for something and translate that to other people, I can always appreciate it. Emotion, not emotion. If you're bringing something to the table of what you want out there to people, I can always appreciate it. So I do like that about Josh. And some of these other ones, like Danielle, I watched bits of her season. I actually think like I have to watch like the end part of her season. I watched season 23 with Xavier. But I didn't watch him on live feeds. Of this cast, I've only watched Cameron and Taylor on live feeds, and wasn't fond of Cameron on live feeds. Was very fond of Taylor on live feeds. Everybody else, I kind of either have seen through the eyes of other people, bits and pieces of what people have put out there about them, or if they have their own podcast or whatever. That and then with Frankie, Danielle, and Brittany, them coming to Big Brother 25 and starting the Big Brother multiverse.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon. Welcome
Hi,
back.
Brandon, welcome back. Are you watching Big Brother Reindeer Games? Let us know.
For me, I knew Josh.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see his Big Brother season. I saw him bits and pieces on the challenge. I've also really fallen off the challenge, but I'll tune in every once in a while if somebody that I know has gone on for a season. And I know he gets a lot of flack for multiple reasons, but I never had a problem with Josh. I don't mind emotional people. But I'm loving seeing all the positive feedback he's getting for Reindeer Games. He just seems so appreciative online, and it makes me smile because getting that online criticism constantly can never ever be easy. So I'm just happy to see that guy get his flowers. I'm happy for him to get a lot of positivity and good feedback from fans and to have fun. That's a lot more fun, I'm sure. Frankie, I did not see his season. He's very polarizing, and there was a strong reaction to him coming on. But I'm enjoying Frankie. I absolutely love his energy, his twirls, like how animated he is. That's everything that I love. I love Frankie.
Yeah, I do like his DRs. He's very
Yeah.
animated in them. He's doing a really good job in his
Yes, animated, but like not fake. You know
no,
what
no,
I
no,
mean? It's
no,
just
no.
perfect. It's just the right. It's what I like.
Right, yeah.
Nicole and Cody, I had seen them in their season together where he cut her at the end.
Okay.
So I did watch that. I did watch that on live feeds. Many of the criticisms that they both get, I probably agree with, but they're fine on this show for me. I'm
Yeah,
not having any issues with them, either of them on the show. Absolutely watched 23, love Xavier. I've seen Danielle's season, absolutely love her. I've seen Brittany's season, her first season, loved her on there. Same energy, same great DRs. Who am I missing? Cameron, I saw him on 25. I've already spoken enough about him. Um, it, I'm loving it.
yeah. So Brandon says, yes, I am watching. It's a lot better than I expected, to be honest. Same.
Same.
So
That's why we're here, Brandon.
that's
When
why
we
we're
said we
here.
would not be, but here we are.
So really, we get an introduction to what the premise of the show is in episode 1, which is that the BB Lodge is a multiverse version of Santa's Lodge from the Big Brother universe. 2 weeks before Christmas, Santa awaits house guests to arrive to help him with stuff around the lodge while he gets ready for the big day. After watching his P Plus subscription, are we gonna call Paramount Plus now P Plus?
No,
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 I don't like that.
I don't like it either. His P Plus subscription, he says that he needs people from the multiverse of Big Brother to come and help him complete all these tasks. So he does invite legends, as he states, for a chance to compete for his reindeer games. And we do see a title sequence with the contestants done as cartoons after that, which I thought was cute. And so then we get just the intros of arrivals. And first up. So they all kind of like the what do you call it? The HOH room uh, is turned into like
Santa's office.
Santa's office, and they come through there. So they none of them come through the door. They're all just zapped into the Santa's office to come into Santa's lodge. And so first up is Taylor Hale, BB24 winner and AFP. Um, and she introduces herself as an entertainment journalist, which we see, big change in career for our girl. She started off with, as a men's stylist on Big Brother 24. If you have not watched, she has, if you're not tuned in to what Taylor's doing now, she has become an entertainment journalist, which was, if you watched her on 24, that was her goal. She's been working for ET and she has a lot of stuff in the works. We're very excited for her. I loved all her exit interviews that she did for BB25. I think that was probably some of the best things that actually came out of Big Brother 25, to be honest. But yes, and she says, she evolved the social strategy of Big Brother. And then she sings like a little ditty, which I thought was so cute. And I do agree with her. I feel like we even see it in 25, like even between her and Cerie's social game moves, I feel really kind of solidified, if people pay attention, how you should play the game socially. Because there was a minute where Cerie was literally running the house. Literally running the house.
Yep.
And for that house, it was really hard because there were a million alliances. People were spilling stuff out of their mouth every 2 seconds. But Cerie was pretty much very insulated for at least the first, I would say, 5 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next in is Cody Calafori, or Calafori, I think it is. He is a BB16 contestant, and then winner of BB25. And his introduction is
BB22.
BB22. It's him. It's right here. I just red flag. And so his introduction is basically, he's done Christmas movies. He don't know where they are. Dude, keep up with your IMDb. Come on.
Somebody found them on Twitter. They had a whole list of. There were lots of them. I didn't
He was in a lot of them.
Yeah.
And he is engaged to someone. I don't think did he mention
Christy.
Or what the okay. And so Taylor and him hug, and she says Cody is known for being a big threat in the game and broing out. And she points to her sweater where she has 2 nutcrackers, one on each side. And she says, "You see my sweater? This shows you, if anything, I'm here to crack some nuts. These guys got to go real fast." And I said, girl, I know that's right, Taylor.
Yeah, let's get them up and out of here. That's
get them up, and
strategy.
seriously, that should be the plan for all of them. Plan for all of them.
Yeah. Every single guy that is on this cast does well in competitions. So,
and they need to get going. And next in is Brittany Haynes. She was on BB12 AFP, and then she was BB14 coach. It said. And she's, as I mentioned, part of the trio that used the laser, along with Danielle and Frankie, to introduce the BB multiverse into Big Brother 25 universe last season. And I have to wonder, if we never got BB 25 universe multiverse, will the ending have been the same ending?
I don't know.
Gotta think about it. Anyway, so Taylor and Cody do meet Brittany for the first time. They both have never met her before. And they do comment on their ugly sweaters. So they're all wearing like these ugly sweaters in the entrance to the lodge in their DRs for this first episode. Next up is Xavier Prather, which is our BB23 winner. He is, of course, the first Black winner in Big Brother 25. Big Brother 25. Big Brother. And he is a lawyer. He's also engaged. And Taylor's excited to see X. And X is excited to see Taylor. They know each other. They're fairly close. They're both from Michigan, coincidentally, and they both made history. Xavier is the first Black winner, and Taylor's the first Black woman to win a regular season. And next up is the legend Danielle Reyes of BB3, BB7 All Stars. And she comes in, and her introduction is, listen, guys, I'm a grandmother of 5. So she is coming in as our quote unquote senior citizen, which is
Insane.
crazy.
It looks great.
And she looks amazing. She looks amazing. I follow her, and just before she went to the lodge, I like she's been working out. She just is like so fit. She looks amazing.
Yeah,
And
she does.
she's got about 7 to 10 years on me. And she's definitely way fitter than me.
She's more fit than me.
Yeah. And as Taylor says, icon in the building. Her reaction to X and Taylor is, "Oh my god!" and "Oh my god," and we know that she's been impactful to both of their games, right? So,
Yep.
she says though she is there to play the game her way, and if you watch BB3, her way is fun.
Yeah. She's
Unfortunately,
ruthless.
yeah, unfortunately, she's a bit ruthless and it didn't catch her the win, but it was so fun. The episodes that I watched, watching her play, like her and Jason as a duo, like, and it wasn't like an out front duo, but it was just so good, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah. And then next in is Frankie Grande, BB16, and he says, "Make the Yuletide gay." I love all his catchphrases that he does. So he is the singer Ariana Grande's brother, and he played with Cody. Cody's his good friend, and they went very far. He says into Big Brother 16. And next in is Nicole Franzel. So do I have this right? She played 3 seasons of Big
Right.
Brother, BB16, BB18, and she which she won, and BB22 with Cody. She says she's a stay-at-home mom. She met her husband Victor on Big Brother. I'm not sure which of those seasons she met him on.
I want to say the second one.
18 that she won. Okay,
He
and
evicted him 3 times. I'm not joking. He like battled back a couple of times.
oh wow.
Yes.
And he did come back and propose in the house, and she's another Michiganer. And they do note that Cody and her played together twice. He did the last time betray her by cutting her at final 3
Oh, it was glorious.
22, so
It was
that he
so
wins
glorious.
stars.
It was so glorious.
I'm
I'm so sorry. It was. That season was a difficult one to get through for me, but that moment was a highlight. I enjoyed it very much.
And then next in is Josh Martinez, BB19's winner. And he says, "I'm remembered for being the obnoxious Latino kid." And they show him banging pots and pans, which he does then do in Santa's Lodge.
Very fitting.
Very fitting. And Brittany says she loves Josh, but he is a competition beast. And he's got to go. All the competition beasts are got to go. So we already see at least 2 of the women are aligned on who the targets need to be, right?
Yep.
And so we do see next, and so last in, and the most recent of players of Big Brother was Cameron Harden, BB25 AFP. And I have no notes. Santa makes an announcement, and it is they are going to compete to get into the final four of what he is calling his reindeer games. The competition is where you can win what translates into Santa's bucks, 100K in US dollars. And on the way to the games, you will be challenged sometimes as an individual, sometimes as a duo, and even sometimes as a team. And it comes down to a win or a loss of a competition. And he will be sending an elf ambassador to guide them through this journey. Cam hears this and is saying, "Oh, good. I'm going to lean into my comp wins to get to the end." Josh says, "Oh, this sounds like accelerated Big Brother, which means even more expect the unexpected." And we do see Taylor say she is looking to find some allies to make it through this game. So, what did you think of all their introductions and their thought process and how they plan to get through these games?
I liked all the introductions. They were cute and fun and cheery. I think each fit them pretty well. I was excited to hear some of the plans
Mm-hmm.
because they're right. Like, you do not let Cody get anywhere because he will win. He will keep going, he will find allies, and he will win. There's no kidding about that. That's exactly what somebody should be talking about Nicole, because that girl, whether you like her or not, she gets to the end. She
Mm-hmm.
gets far. She gets her way, and she usually gets in a pretty comfortable spot with people. We see her here while she has eyes on Cody, as she should.
Right,
Um, as soon as or we see her link up with them, we see her link up with some of the women, so they should look at her too.
right.
Xavier, competition piece, Josh. So I'm liking the trains of thoughts that I'm seeing as well.
Yeah. So we do see that Cody and Frankie, right off the bat, agree to align. Cody says that Frankie is the best competitor that's ever played Big Brother, and we do know. I believe Taryn did say that. So if you don't watch RHAP, Taryn is our resident stat guy, and he says Frankie's average for competitions is probably the best one coming into this game. And so if
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no,
I
go ahead.
believe he had like 9 wins, but they weren't counting one of his battle backs as a win for some reason in that. But he has like 8. That's no joke.
Yeah,
He seems to be pretty good at a lot of things, like pretty well rounded. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So they better look at him. You
Look at
got
him.
yeah. I
I,
don't even know who I would send to take him out. I guess Xavier.
yeah,
Yeah.
at this point. And then we see Brittany and Nicole have a conversation, just like you said, and she and her well, Brittany and Nicole have had things that happen outside the game and they have to like kind of reconcile.
Mhm.
And so they do that, where which somebody pointed out Brittany really didn't apologize, but she just kind of acquiesced, and Nicole basically just took it on the chin. So kind of like that, like she could be salty and be like, "I'm not working with you," but Nicole is like, "Listen, we've got to get the guys out, like, first of all." So she's
Mhm.
doing what she's supposed to do socially to make sure that she is not the target. And then we see Taylor and Josh chatting, and they are immediately locked in. They are like, "Okay, who do you want to ride with to Final Four?" And Josh is like, X and Danielle. And Taylor's like, "That works for me. That's what I would want." And so X comes in and they pitch it to him. And he agrees. He loves it. He said he's not sure how solidified it is, but that, he's good with it.
Yeah.
And Danielle sneaks in and they tell her, and she said, "Of course." But she's like, she's intent on protecting herself
First.
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 She said,
Yeah,
he's
Danielle's gonna go wherever she feels is best. And you can't even like while I might be like, Danielle,
not.
you can't even blame her. Like, it's a game for $100,000. Like, I'm gonna stick with whatever crew I feel is best for getting me to where I'm trying to get. she's willing to pivot, and that's the mark of a good player.
Absolutely.
Even if I don't like who she's going to pivot on necessarily.
Yeah, because she tells us in her diary room session, these are the three biggest starts. Three of the biggest starts in this game, and they've all won. She's like, so if she need to cut them, she gonna cut them. Meanwhile,
Right.
she's telling them, if I hear your name, I will let you know. But just make sure, if you hear my name, you tell me too.
Yep.
And I can't hate it. I can't hate
Mhm.
it. So the players do socialize, and then the doorbell rings. It is of Jordan, and we find that Jordan is the winner of Big Brother 11. Um,
Mm.
she also met her husband in Big Brother as well.
Mhm.
And so she is going to read the competition scroll from Santa. So we do find out kind of the names and how these challenges are going to stay. So the first challenge is the naughty and nice challenge. So each day that will be the challenge first every day. And then the second challenge will be the Jingle Bells Brawl. And then the third challenge will be the Santa Showdown. So no HOH, no vetoes, nothing like that. This is how it's staged every day in 6-day competition, right?
Yep.
And so day one challenge for Naughty and Nice is DJ Scroogey needs them to guess his favorite holiday song using presents that were throughout the lodge. And the winner will be bestowed the Naughty and Nice power. And Brittany thinks that that power is safety, so she's intent on winning.
Yep.
So it's each of the clues are in a little present in different rooms. And so the first present opens up and it is a house. And so they're supposed to be trying to guess a song based on these clues. And in the second present, it was a
Finger.
hand with a finger pointing out. Now, I already guessed the song from the first clue. Did you guess it?
Nope.
Uh,
When
I
I
love
saw
music.
the third clue, I was like, I don't even know if I called it the right name because
Mm,
I've heard multiple Christmas songs, but I don't necessarily know the correct name for them.
uh,
So I said something, but I don't know if it was like the correct name. You
okay.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. So I love Christmas songs. I tell people all the time, I always start playing Christmas music in like August just to get ready. And so I'm a big Christmas music fan. So I did know the song. Once I saw the house, I was like, oh yeah, no, it's up on the housetop.
See, I said up on a rooftop.
Oh, okay.
I would have got it wrong because I don't
Yeah.
know what the correct name.
Name of the song was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then once I saw the finger pointed out, I was like, okay, it's definitely that. I did, and then they got to the top. I was like, okay, I got it right.
Yeah, I would have gotten
um,
that wrong.
so Xavier and Josh, between present 2 and 3, just go and ring in, and Xavier says Grandma got run over by a reindeer,
I don't know where
and
he got that.
I don't know where he got that. And Josh says it has to be Feliz Navidad, and I still
I don't
don't
know why.
understand that when he,
And I don't even know what that song is about to even.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. That's what.
Feliz Navidad?
Yes.
Oh. See, I don't know. I don't
Just
know Christmas songs like that.
And so the third present is a top. So at that point, yes, it is up on the house top. Taylor says, which I thought was a good strategy here, says that she's not trying to go jingle balls to the wall since she doesn't know the impact. And so she's just going to let someone else win this and see how it plays out, which
Mm.
I thought was a good, I thought it was a good strategy. How about you?
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't really think it was good or bad, but I understand not wanting to win the unknown because you don't know what it's going to entail.
I think because they weren't clearly stating what the prize was, I
Hmm.
think that's why it was a good idea to see just how it would play out. Because ultimately the prize here wasn't that big because
No, it really wasn't.
it wasn't safety.
No.
And so we do see that Brittany and Danielle working together, and they figured out the song, but they're not sure of the title. So Danielle rings in with Old Saint Nick. Brittany rings in with Up on the Housetop, and she does get in first. So DJ Scroogy plays and it's a dance party. But yeah, Brittany doesn't win safety. Instead, she wins an advantage, and she can choose to put someone on the naughty list and give them a disadvantage. That's it.
In the upcoming brawl,
In
right?
the Jingle Bell Brawl.
Jingle Bell Brawl.
Yeah. And so Cody realizes he has no connection or relationship with Brittany. And so he feels a little screwed. Cam, on the other hand, feels he's good with Brittany, but he knows he's an easy target because he's new. Brittany likes that she's has an advantage in this because she doesn't feel she's great in comps, but she doesn't like creating an enemy out of someone day one. And really, that's basically what you're doing here. You're basically targeting someone day one. So Brittany does meet with everybody to gauge who she should give it to. Nicole surprisingly says, well, don't give it to me. And Brittany says, I know that the girls are sticking together. I'm not trying to give it to you. She said she wants to give it to somebody that they can help them beat in the challenge. And Nicole says, well, we need to break up Frankie and Cody. They're like already aligned. We got to get rid of them. And Danielle's like, okay, what are you guys doing? And she's like, she's okay with anybody. And the top list is basically Cody, Cam, and Xavier.
Compies.
Yep. And Danielle, Brittany wants to pass the blame to the house, basically, at this point. She does have conversations with everybody, but she does have a section where she particularly is talking about the men's social game. She says Cam looks tired and haggard after BB25, which I thought was hilarious. She likes Joss, but she's like, he's big and scary. He's the one that she sees on Instagram flipping over tractors and tires. Cody is the biggest contender because he's both too nice and very competitive, the perfect formula to win. And Cody's pissed off that she's not telling him anything and not giving him any options. So he knows that he's probably, yeah. And X gives her air, she says, air. It was like a lot of yes. No, and she says no original thoughts. He really was just uncomfortable. You could tell he didn't know what to say to her either which way.
Right.
Frankie comes in and he's like, rah rah rah, team, let's go girls. And he said, let's go after these big boys. He's like, they won't be mad. Everyone there is a winner. And she's like, wait, except for Xavier. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, Xavier, he didn't win. He's like, yes, he did.
He won the cookout. He said that he won the cookout. I was like, oh my goodness.
That was so funny.
Yeah, Brittany's like face. She was like, he won. She was like, she just couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. It's funny that she didn't know that he won.
That was very funny. So Taylor sits down with Brittany and she's concerned that Brittany wants to give it to X. Because Taylor's game plan right now is she needs him as an ally and a weapon so that she can use him to target these boys. And she helps aim that target from X at Cody.
Yes.
Who is the top of her hit list. She says, quote, I need to cut this gingerbread man off at the legs right now. And all I could think about was Gingy from Shrek. Have you ever watched
Shrek? No, I do not like kids' movies.
Oh my God. All I could think about was Gingy because in there's a section where somebody like ate his legs off. Like, you monster! I even tweeted it. It was funny. That's all I could think about. Brittany is very concerned, but ultimately puts Cody on the naughty list. Everybody's face, especially Taylor's, was hilarious. Everybody was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Cody. Nicole is happy as well. And Taylor's happy. The game is playing out exactly the way she wants. So second challenge is a Jingle Bell Brawl. And it's again to win safety of the day. and the power to choose who goes into Santa's challenge to go home. And Brittany realizes this is the challenge she needs to win.
Yes.
And she wants safety because now she's made a whole, you know, enemy out of Cody and his little friends to target
Mhm.
her. So the first brawl is to bring back at the post office um, everyone's mail that's been delivered. They must cross into the candy cane forest and get across the candy cane bridge, which are striped beams. Place envelopes into another competitor's mailbox and then empty out their mailboxes to win. Brittany's advantage was to have one less envelope in her box. Cody's advantage was to get an extra one.
Not terrible.
No,
That wasn't really worth it. I mean, I wouldn't want to win that and have to disadvantage somebody.
right. It,
So I was
yeah,
like, that meh.
that
I
was
don't
it
really
was
think that
terrible.
it had much of an impact on the challenge, but I was very happy to hear or see, because this is like our introduction to this show. I was very excited to see the competition. I thought it was very equitable for any of the people playing. I
Mhm.
really liked that there was a social element to the challenge so that people could disadvantage other people. It kind of let you know where people lied a little bit at the first beginning of this game. So I was really excited to see that challenge,
Yeah.
especially because there's a social element to it.
Yeah, I thought it was really well put together. It was definitely, like you said, it was very equitable. And we see that they had a social impact because people could really kind of see who was kind of coming for them, either on purpose or accidentally. So, like, Frankie announces right away, hey, I'm going to just put one in everybody's box. So if you see me
Mhm.
doing it, I'm not targeting anybody. I'm just putting it in everybody's box, which I thought
Smart.
was smart.
Yeah. Everybody else piled up on poor Cameron.
Yeah. Although Cody did put one in Nicole's, and
He did.
she got upset and said, "Well, now you targeted me, I'm targeting you." But yes, everybody else is targeting Cam because he's the rookie and less blood on their hands, and he's a big competitor. Um, Cam realizes he's the target as he sees his mailbox just full.
Yeah,
What?
at one point, they couldn't even put any more envelopes into his box. They were just handing them to him. You
Mhm,
know what I mean?
mhm.
Yeah.
It was funny. So he does realize he's the target. Xavier says that this is actually openly showing who people are targeting with. So yeah, that's social peace. Cam's box is completely full of what Brittany calls hate mail. Cody is targeted by Brittany and Taylor because Brittany's like, well, I already targeted, so he knows, and so he's just gonna know out front.
I
And
thought it was smart though how she chose to put her envelopes in backwards
mhm,
so they might not see that that particular envelope came from her. Good thinking, Taylor. I like that strategy. And
yeah,
he didn't and I've since learned he did not even know that Taylor put any in his box. I forget how he found out, but he didn't know, and he was surprised to learn that she put
mhm,
any in his box.
yeah. Um, we do see though that Josh has a hard time balancing on the beam and he falls a number of times. So he's not even able to get across the candy cane bridges to get envelopes back and forth. Um, and he says for him, he has a hard time balancing, which makes sense. He's a big guy. He said he's like 230 pounds and 6 feet, which, yeah, that'll throw your equilibrium off. He should probably work on that though for challenges. I'm surprised that the challenge not have balancing cups. Shocking. Cody though, once he sees he's being targeted, he starts going quick, fast, and over these bridges, and nearly head plants at the end of a beam, trying to empty out his box. He just missed it by like this much.
Yeah.
Um, and we do see though that Frankie and Taylor are probably the two that are being least targeted because they are basically neck and neck in unloading their box after unloading all their envelopes.
Yeah.
But X puts one in Frankie's box, and Frankie's like, "Oh no, are you targeting me?" He's like, "No, it's just because you're closer." He's like, X is going on the naughty list, and he's clearing out his box pretty quickly, and Danielle sees and she said, "Oh, no, no, no. Frankie needs to be targeted. He is a force." So just like you said in the beginning, Frankie is somebody that needs to be targeted, but the only one who seems to kind of get that, because I don't think X was targeting him on purpose.
Right.
Unless him and Danielle had come to some sort of agreement that we didn't see, which is why I feet. But Danielle very much understands that Frankie got to go.
Yeah.
Taylor does, though, when she's bringing back, I think one of her last two envelopes fall off the bean, has to start again. But at that point, Frankie carries his last letter in and wins. And so he has to send 2 people into Santa's end of the day challenge, which is called the Santa Showdown. And if you lose out of the Santa Showdown, you lost the game and cannot compete in the Reindeer games at the end. And so Brittany is glad that it wasn't Cody that won, but she is slightly concerned about whether Frankie is still riding with them. X is slightly concerned because he was throwing envelopes in Frankie's box and Frankie's all. Cam knows he's the target, which he should be. And Nicole was like waddles into the bathroom.
She's dusting off that season 16 alliance. Oh, let me go grovel.
16 all the way. Yeah. Which I thought was hilarious because she is certainly
good of her, because let's be real, Frankie's not going to target her. You know, he's not going to put her out down there.
No. But she's rolling with BB16. Frankie tells Danielle he's targeting X, Cody, and Josh. So notice how he's saying he's targeting Cody to Danielle. And she's like, she's fine with everyone hearing this. Any one of them, he can do. Meanwhile, she's in alliance with two. Nicole comes and he tells her, "Well, who do you want?" And he's like, "Not Cody, right?" And she's like, "No, not Cody."
Which Nicole would have been fine with, seemingly anyway.
And with Cam, he basically tells him he's leaning towards targeting him because it would get the least amount of blood on his hands. Cam does try to, take the target off a little bit, and Frankie does congratulate him on really having a great conversation, but ultimately Cam's the target.
Yeah. I mean, I understand for all of them. I don't think it was even necessarily anything personal towards Cam. It's just, you're the newbie. Sorry, welcome to Big Brother, but you got to go. Like, that's all it was. It was a bunch of, he was new.
And I would say
he's good at comps.
Right. I would say if he was maybe what's his name? Corey or somebody else who was not, won one comp in his season, maybe they would think about keeping him because they could
use him.
Maybe they could use him and then beat him in the end because he's not great at comps. But this guy won a bunch of comps in his season. It was against some older people and some non-compies, but he still won a fair amount of range of comps. So I absolutely agree with it. He does talk to X, and he does note, "You put an envelope in my box." So he really doesn't give him any assurances, even though X says he wants to work with him. And then Taylor sits down with Frankie, and she asks him about who he wants to target, and he does say, "Well, who do you want to target?" And she says, she's like, "Well, how are you feeling about Cody?" And he says, what did he say? Sorry, my notes just scrolled. He says he doesn't want him to do. He said doing him day one would be crazy, and so she's like, "Well, when do you plan on doing him? Day 3 at the Reindeer games?"
Yeah, she got a lot of flack for this online for saying that to Frankie, but I said, if she said that to him, he did something to make her feel comfortable enough to throw Cody's name.
Mhm.
And that's what happened. We've since heard from Taylor
Mhm.
that her and Frankie locked in pretty fast. They were in fact working together. And in Frankie's original season, he rocked with the men. He rocked
Mhm.
with the guys,
Mhm.
often at the women's expense. And he told Taylor that he regretted that and
Mhm.
that he wanted to play a different game this time. And
Mhm.
also, Taylor did not know that Cody and Frankie were as close as they were.
Yes.
So that
And
is
we
why
do
Taylor,
see him throw out Cody's name to Danielle. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that maybe he did mention Cody to Taylor at some point as well.
right. And considering what he shared with her and the fact that she did not know, they
Mhm.
know their original season, doesn't know that they were close or that they were close in the house, at least on day one, right? I understand why she said it.
Yep, I agree.
But I was like, oh, at the
Only
time.
error, only error I feel like she made this episode. To be fair, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely an error. Um, and this part was also an error because she does say to him, well, who else is he considering? He says he's considering Cam, X, and Josh, and she said, well, oh, she doesn't want to put X in jeopardy just yet. And Frankie takes a note of that and files it away for later.
Oh, so you're protecting X. Good to know, Taylor.
Yeah.
But Taylor should also recognize he ain't trying to touch Cody, at least this round. And
Hmm.
that might mean ever because, like she said, do you mean day three when we're in the battle? Like, what are your plans? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, so Cody does sit down with Frankie, and Frankie tells him people are pitching you. And he said, who? Nicole? And he said, no, 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 not Nicole. Nicole's actually been good. It's Taylor. But she's just trying to protect X. I was like, I'm going to freaking throttle him.
But the fact that he then followed it up with, it's not against you, it's more to protect somebody else. But
Mhm.
still, if you were gonna defend her at the end of it, you shouldn't have said it to begin with,
Exactly.
you know?
And so Cody does realize that he's being targeted hardcore by Taylor, and he underestimated her. He never
Yeah.
saw it coming.
Yeah, because he learned, I think, around this time that she had put envelopes in his box. And he was like, I thought me and Taylor were good. I didn't think that she would be. Yes, you're good, but it doesn't change the fact, Cody, that you're
Mhm.
a threat. Like,
And he got stood up.
he played the game two seasons. Guess how many times he was nominated? Twice in 2 seasons. That's insane. That is insane. Cody has always, when he's played Big Brother the previous 2 seasons, been in a very cushy spot. He's able to get into an alliance with the people that are able to win and keep him safe. And that is how he got to the end. So, this being in a Big Brother realm and having people at your neck on day one is not what Cody is used to.
Mm-mm. So we do see Frankie and has to announce his choice, and he does choose Cam first, and then Xavier. Cam because he was everybody's target, and Xavier because he targeted him.
And I more so even think it's because who are we going to send to beat Cam? We can't send, I wouldn't have sent any of the women over any of the guys in this situation.
Mhm.
The brawl was unknown to them right now. And now we've learned you never know what you're going to get in that brawl. But, you know, I understood it. I
Yeah,
didn't want X to go down, but if
I
I'm
mean,
trying to
I
eliminate Cameron, if Cameron is the one I would like, I don't think Frankie cared either way, honestly.
yeah,
But if Cameron is the one I want to go, I'm going to send down somebody I think can beat him, and that's X or even Josh.
right. I,
Yeah.
I think it was it made the most sense. Taylor did note that Cody was her choice, but it was up to Frankie. I do think on both sides it was the least amount of blood because he had a reason, even for X. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was just throwing him down for no reason. So we do see the first Santa showdown is a puzzle. And once I knew it was a puzzle, I said, X got this. You watch this season, he's great at puzzles. Great at puzzles.
Yeah. It was a very, very intricate, like not intricate. It was a big puzzle. I think they
Mhm.
said over 50 pieces,
It's
you know?
57 pieces to create
Yeah.
ugly Yeti sweater. And we do see Cam and X just are locked in, knowing that it's a puzzle, and they go about it two different methods. Cam puts together the middle with the Yeti face in first. X though decides to concentrate on the sleeves, and we do find out, like watching it on the screen, we do find like that it doesn't look like it looked like X was blowing him Cam out the water personally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Taylor said from it watching it on the inside, it looked like it was a nail biter
Yeah, at
uh,
first at
at
least. And then I
first.
think was able to pull away. Thank goodness.
Hmm. And so we do get these comments during the challenge. Danielle saying, "Oh, you guys are doing so good, much better than Caitlin."
Mm. I liked X pulling his hair into a ponytail just like Cam did.
That was so cute.
So
Uh,
cute.
a little bit of personality we got to see, because we don't ever really get to see sometimes X's personality. I just thought that was cute.
And it's so weird because I've seen him in environments
Hmm.
where I see so much personality. Like
Hmm.
I've seen him on lives with other cookout members for hours, and he has
Hmm.
in
He's
hysterics.
so
So
funny.
funny, but
He's
for
so
some
funny.
reason that doesn't come across on screen always for X. But
No.
I know it's there.
He's hilarious. And even though he is the only member of the cookout I have not met, just watching him on different podcasts, watching him on different lives, like you're saying, he is a riot.
And
He is
his
absolutely
stories have been a riot. Like
hmm
his stories have had me in hysterics
yeah.
just about the show. So I enjoy X. He's not, I know he could come across boring on the show, but it's not. And I think also he's just kind of serious. He's in game mode, you know?
Yeah, he seemed like, and I kind of understand it when he's a Taurus and I'm a Taurus as well, and I'm very analytical, and I tell people all the time I'm very antisocial. Not because I don't like people, but because I'm always analyzing people first and coming up with determination of whether or not I will like deal with them.
Mhm.
And so socially sometimes it's hard because like people think I'm standoffish or bitchy or whatever, because I that's my first inkling, is to just like survey you, like, are you going to be accepting of me and my personality? Are you a kind person? Are you a nice person? Do I want you to be somebody I have to deal with, right? And
Yeah.
then on the flip side, if I'm like playing a game or whatever, I'm trying to analyze how to play this game, that I'm going to be quiet. I'm thinking, it's just things in my head that I'm trying to get through, that then it just doesn't come out as much, like talkative, whatever. Then there's times when people like meet me and they've known me like a couple of times or for months or whatever, and they're like, wow, Tamika, you're so nice and you're friendly and you talk a lot, and I didn't feel like that when I first met you. And they're like, yeah, you just have to get to know me because that's me. It takes me a while to warm up to people.
Yeah.
So we do see that X does overtake Cam and win this challenge, and everyone who loses gets to pick a present from under Santa's tree, and the options range from 5K to fruitcake. Do you eat fruitcake?
I've never had fruitcake in my life.
Oh, okay. So in Jamaica, we do make a fruitcake. It's called Jamaican black cake, and so it's rum soaked fruits, and then we put it in a cake.
Mm.
So that's the fruitcake we do eat. So I don't hate fruitcake, but I only eat certain fruitcake.
Yeah, I've never had fruitcake. Never wanted. I don't even know if I've ever seen a fruitcake somewhere. Like, can I
Mm,
go to the store and buy a fruitcake?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, never had it.
So we do see Cam gets a jelly subscription. And he
Jelly?
jelly.
I missed that.
Yeah, and a jelly subscription. Listen, I have a cheese subscription that I can get monthly. There's a subscription for everything in the world.
Cheese?
Cheese, yeah. I like cheese boards and cheese plates. So,
Is
listen.
jelly like jam jelly?
Hmm.
I'd
And he
give
has
that
a little girl. He'll use that girl.
jelly.
No time. No time.
There's probably lots of jellies, I guess.
Hmm. Oh yeah, there's lots of jelly. There's fig jam. There's orange marmalade. There's apricot jelly, strawberry jelly,
I
grape
just buy grape and
jelly.
strawberry.
Oh my god, there's so many. Red pepper jelly. There's spicy jelly. There's sweet jelly. There's so many jellies.
I do have a fig jelly in my fridge, but I have yet to try it. It
Oh my
looked
god, it's so
interesting.
good. Get
How
cheese.
cheese.
Yes, fig jam and cheese.
Yeah, I certainly didn't know what to put it with because I was like,
Yes,
on
cheese
toast.
crackers and fig jam.
We'll talk.
I'll tell you which cheese to get. Okay. So Danielle is excited. She made it through. She doesn't want to go into that showdown. Not at all. Frankie is concerned that X might come for him, but X doesn't want to go into that showdown again. So he has a feeling he may have to just keep winning challenges at this point. And he's got to figure out how that's going to work. Cody's thankful for Frankie for keeping him safe. Cody knows now that Taylor is after him, so he's going to have to come for her first. This is when I was like, oh no, no, the girl. And Taylor has her eyes locked in and set on getting Cody out. So that was the end of episode 1, which I thought was a great episode. I was
Yeah, it
so
was a long episode. It was a 2-hour episode. I enjoyed it because it was just the unknown. And after that ended, I was like, that was really good. Like, I liked that. I liked the comps. I liked the first little the first little riddle that they needed to solve for the naughty and nice. I liked the naughty and nice challenge. While I thought that the actual reward and punishment wasn't up to snuff for this particular episode, but I liked it overall. I liked it. I liked the DRs. I liked the people. I liked the challenges. I like who went home. Like, it all worked for me. So I was super, super excited for episode 2, where it just gives even more. So let's get into
Yes. So Santa does recap day 1. What do you think of these Santa recaps that he's been doing? It was like 5 minutes of a recap.
No, I don't care about Santa. I don't even necessarily need a recap. Like, if I might start 5 minutes late so I can just fast forward past the recaps. I mean, it's cute. It fits the theme, right? But I personally, I ain't worried about Santa. Santa's put these people through it. And all these people want to fight Santa.
So we do see that Danielle says that she has 2 routes to Final Four, to the end right now. She is a Final Four with X, Taylor, and Josh, which we talked about before. But her priority is her final 2 with Brittany.
Right.
On the other side. And so she's either way, she's like, either way, her target has to be Frankie. And so Danielle is locked in on Frankie.
Yeah.
She said he's the biggest competitor, and he's a duo with Cody. And at this moment, one of them got to go. And so on the other hand, we see Frankie solidify with X. He wants to play the game with him. He basically like really turns around and says, X, I'm sad that I had to throw you into that, yesterday, but I think it really worked out. And I really want to now work with you. So we kind of see Frankie's social game kind of at play here, because he's really just kind of taking what he did the day before, which is really kind of putting X on the chopping block, and using it to say, hey, like you did such a good job. Let's lock in for the future.
Yeah. And I think that this game, the numbers are so small.
Yeah.
The challenges that you're going to get are unknown. You don't know, like they said in episode 1, if it's going to be pairs or if it's going to be a team. It makes no sense to even hint that he wouldn't be okay with this, even if he's not. Right. But I'm sure he is. If it works in his favor, X is going to do it, while trying to protect those he can. But yeah, I didn't expect anything different. Anything different would have been idiotic.
Right. And we do see X is fine with it, because he says he likes Frankie, and he says, you play the game like I like. You play the game logically and not emotionally. And he appreciates that type of gameplay. So they do lock in to basically be each other's shields.
Right. I'm really this show is making me sad I didn't watch Frankie's original season. Like, I'd like to see him play, because he gets a strong reactions to him being on the cast, to the point that I was like, why are some people not excited about Frankie? Because I love him. I just didn't understand, because what I had seen of him had been great. So I've gotten some a little bit of explanations, but yeah, I like Frankie a lot. I like how he thinks. I like how he plays. I
Mhm.
like his social interactions. So
So far, I'm pleased. But we do see Nicole talk to Cody, and she says she's good with him, and he does ITM to her. No, he says she's good with him. So not she's good. She's saying he's good with because she's worried that he's going to target her. And he's like, no, 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 you're the least of my problems right now. The ITMs that his targets are Taylor and Brittany because they're both coming after him. In
and
some
that is just so interesting to me that he would choose to target women when there are other very strong competitors in that house. But let's see how it works out for him.
Right. And so he does say he's working with Frankie, and if they can steamroll and by winning all these challenges. And so we do see that that's his game plan. Like he just is going to try to just win the challenges and steamroll over the girls with Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do see Jordan the elf come in for the day. I'm not sure where Taylor said it, but she had said at some point that she was stupidly saying Cody's name all day.
Everywhere yesterday.
So we do get the
I
naughty
think she
nice.
said it. She said it like after he won. So
Okay, I couldn't I find it in my notes, but I was like, oh, I must have missed it when she said it. But we do get the naughty and nice challenge for the day, and Santa calls them his esteemed eight. And he says they have holiday songs that the carolers are supposed to be singing, but they tore them up because they were cranky and they had sheet musics of 19 songs, but are now relegated to one song. And the eight have to figure out what the song is that are now was not torn up. And so today's challenge, she does warn, is a game changer.
yeah, and a lot of them are not interested in winning it. Even though Jordan said that, a lot of them are not interested in winning because they saw that Brittany had to do disadvantage somebody, and they did not feel like the disadvantage that she assigned was worth getting to
Yeah,
create an enemy, which
right.
I understood. I understand that, but I would much rather have the problem of winning than that power being in somebody else's hands.
True.
That's how I felt. Well, because it was multiple people
Oh
that
yeah,
said
I
that
wrote
they
down all of them.
multiple
Yeah.
said they didn't want to win. So I was just like, oh, this could not be good. And this challenge I would not be good at. I have a horrible, horrible short-term memory. So to run around and have to remember like which one I didn't see, I would suck at this. That's just a
Mhm.
fact. Like I would suck at this challenge because it was just like which one of the 20 songs didn't I see? I would suck. I know it.
I have kind of a photographic memory, and just the fact that each song name was on one list and then was on the torn list. I think I probably could have narrowed it down. I don't know. It's a lot of songs,
It's a
um,
lot of songs.
right? But yeah, so we do see Josh and Frankie ringing quickly. Taylor does say she throws it.
Yeah, Xavier too.
Yes. Nicole takes a guess. Cody takes it slow because he really wants to win this. He thinks that it'll, be a good win for him. And we do see Xavier rings in and throws it basically by going as slow as hell and then just ringing it, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't
I
want.
saw I also saw Brittany, like or not Brittany, Danielle really putting forth an effort because she did not want Cody to win. She
Mhm,
was really putting forth an effort in that challenge, and it looked like she was trying to have Brittany help her,
mhm,
but Brittany had no intentions of winning either.
right.
So Brittany went and run in, and I saw Danielle like, "What are you doing?" Like that's the
Mhm,
look Danielle's face had because like I'm trying to win this, Brittany. Brittany was not,
mhm.
so Danielle was. So I like Danielle's thought. I would have been, I feel like, if I were there, thinking more like Danielle. I might not want it, but I don't want him to get it. Because if he gets it, then what?
Not even that. I was like, it kind of sucks. Like, if X did know, because he said he knew this which one it was, he just did not want to win it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, well, should X have told Danielle? Then that way maybe she could have won it. And
Kind of.
But then do we get the ending that we get out of this though? That's the thing.
Absolutely not. The
Right.
teams would have been so different.
Right. So
So I'm guessing we're happy with how it pans out, but yeah,
because I said
you
the
could
same
have.
thing. I said Danielle had the right thought process, in my opinion. It is now you kind of know what it is, but if they're saying game changing, go after it, right? Don't throw
Right.
it. Go after it and deal with the consequences at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you could be gone today.
Yes. I, I would much rather win it and then deal with that than deal with the unknown of somebody else winning.
Yeah.
Unless I'm handing it to, like, if I'm handing it to you, Tamika, and I know you're not going to go after me, that's different than the unknown. So yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't like this strategy by most. I
And
thought it was
so
too
we
early.
we do see Cody finally rings in with Deck the Halls, and then the eight are called to the bakery by Jordan, and we find out that Cody wins, and the carolers come in singing the winning song.
I was
But
like, of course Cody wins. This
yeah,
is just how it goes for
yeah,
Cody.
yeah.
He knows his neck is on the line, which is rare in Big Brother, and the man wins.
Mhm.
So once he won, I was like, oh no,
Because
because
we
I
knew
really
just he was going after Taylor. That was it.
absolutely, or he was gonna. What? And then once I heard what he won, I was like, oh boy.
I mean, to be fair, they gave Cody the game right here.
Yes, they really handed him that win. Like none of them tried. Like Xavier could have had that power.
Hmm.
So yeah, once he won, I was just like, oh, he's about to stack his team.
So Cody does get to choose three other players to create a team of four and go against the remaining four players, and also
This
choose
is
a player to give a disadvantage to.
yeah, that was big. From an extra letter to one less letter
Mm-hmm.
to being able to handpick your crew
Mm-hmm.
and rock with that crew, I thought, and disadvantage somebody on the losing team, which is basically, let's be real, an disadvantage to everybody. That part didn't really matter,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, this was one you did not want to sit out on and not
Yeah.
try on, but
Yeah.
it's too late.
It's too late. And so Frankie is happy. He knows him and Cody are locked in. And Danielle wants to be on the super team. Like, who would it?
They all wanted to, like Danielle and Brittany begging. Danielle was like, Cody, I will be personally offended if you don't choose me. He was just like, oh. Brittany was like, you're taking food out of my children's mouths. And that was a nod to something else, which I cannot remember right now. But
Oh, was it? Okay. I can
yeah,
see.
that was a nod to something I want to say on her original season because I saw people laughing about it, but I just didn't remember that part of it. So yeah, it was interesting. It
Yeah.
was interesting.
So Cody confirms him and Frankie are on the super team. He then chooses X. He asks X who he should choose, and X says someone more cerebral. And Cody has no idea what that means. And then
Context clues, Cody. At least context clues you could have applied here.
cerebellum. Hello,
Brain, come
right?
on, let's go.
And X also suggests not an all guys team, and Cody's like, oh yeah, yeah, no, no, I'm not gonna choose Josh. We know he was gonna choose Josh before X
Yeah.
said somebody who had a little more brain power in this. Um, so X says, how about Nicole? And Cody kind of vetoes it. He's like, no, we have a personal relationship. I don't know about all that. And then X suggests either Brittany or Taylor. Um, they were really good at the comp the day before. They could be really handy if it's something where it's a mental comp. Um, Cody does point out Taylor's an enemy and he needs to watch out for her. But him and the ex kind of agree. Maybe putting her on his team might be an advantage of keeping your enemies close. What did you
Yes,
think
and then if Taylor, if they should lose, Cody's figuring he could go against Taylor in the brawl, and then if they win, Taylor isn't on the other side to put him in the brawl.
Right.
So there was reason behind that suggestion.
Right.
And it wasn't goofy reasons. Like
No,
those are palatable reasons that somebody could get behind. So
I thought it was a good thought process personally.
yeah.
So Josh and Nicole chat to try to figure out what Cody will do, and Nicole thinks it's either Brittany or Nicole that are screwed. Josh is told he's not on the team, but they won't target him, and Josh
Yeah.
is pissed.
Yeah, he's still not happy. I don't blame him. I think
I
his
do.
ego was just bruised, like he said.
Yeah, I mean he's used to be, he's used to the challenge where at this point he's a vet, he's not a rookie. He's used to rolling with the super crew, right?
Right. The controlling crew is definitely Josh's like home on the
Oh,
challenge for the most part, you know?
and so Brittany and Nicole are concerned. Danielle, we see, plead her case. That's when Brittany brings up as well the mom and kid card.
Mhm.
um, Taylor does, like I said, note earlier that she's been throwing Cody's name around, but she does say to Cody when they are meeting that, hey, I might have thrown like an envelope or so in your mailbox, and he's like, you did a little more than that. It was a pretty funny conversation.
When she said it was overflow.
Yeah,
Yeah. She tried.
she
She
did
tried.
try. She tried so hard to get out of it. So it comes down to Cody's thinking: can he build trust with Nicole by picking Nicole, or keep Taylor close so that in case he needs to like beat her out, he could just beat her out as an
Right.
enemy. And so Cody does assemble his team, and he chooses Nicole first, and then I knew what the team was.
Yeah. And then he picked her. I was like, oh.
Ah,
Once he picked his team, I was like, oh, I hate you, Cody. Not like, but I don't blame him for trying to stack the team for himself. It seemed like he felt bad for the other team, but like he wants to win. He doesn't want to see himself in danger, so he picked who he thought were best going, and they don't know the challenge, but he picked who he thought he had a best chance to win a competition with.
right. So
Frankie's a strong player, Xavier is, and Nicole is. Like people don't like to say that, but she is. She usually does pretty well at comps.
right. And so to me, I felt like the error on his part was he basically outed his entire alliance. Because these are the people he's aligned with, right? So I didn't. While I got it, I also didn't get it because it was like you kind of put out in front, like everybody that you want to work with is on your team. So if you lose, you basically die by the sword.
I
Like,
think he should have had somebody, a sacrificial lamb more so,
yeah,
that he could beat or he felt he could beat. I don't think he would have wanted to eliminate Nicole.
right,
In an elimination, I think he would rather had eliminated a Brittany or a Taylor or even a Danielle over Nicole because Nicole is an ally. Those other three aren't necessarily allies for him. So
yeah,
yeah, I thought it was goofy to pick Nicole. He should have picked like him, Frankie, and then two other people.
yeah,
But he was just thinking about winning, you know.
yeah. That's it. That's how he was rolling. So he leaves the misfits, as they're called, of Danielle, Josh, Brittany, and Taylor, and he does give Taylor a disadvantage. And she doesn't want it because she doesn't think it'd be good for her, but she does take it really well because he was like, I'm sorry. He did seem to feel so bad
He did.
about all his choices here, which makes it kind of all the more funnier because he just really felt for what he was doing, but he rode with his choices. Josh is pissed. Brittany calls them the loser team. They all change into matching pajamas, and Frankie's like, they are the perfect team of brains and brawn. They got this. And then Brittany and Taylor note that if they can do this, if they can pull this out in the end, it will be absolutely epic. And Josh is like freaking out, but he tells them, listen, I'm going to be the badass on the team with these amazing women. And so they do go into the Jingle Bell Brawl, basically hyped up for each other. And they have to decorate tippy trees where they need to balance ornaments on branches of trees that are unbalanced in a basic relay order determined by the team. So they have a little bit of time to strategize that. And then the disadvantage for Taylor was she must decorate a mini tree, just a regular small mini tree with ornaments at first before her team can even begin to do the Tippy Tree Challenge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh hell, and that challenge looked hard.
It
Like I don't
did.
think I loved it because I thought either you're gonna be good at it or you're not. It's
Period.
not about how big you are, or tall you are, or fast you are. Like either you're gonna be good at it or you're not. Trial and error. I really, really like the challenge. I hope we see it back
Yeah.
in many different capacities.
Yeah, it was a really good challenge. I was like, where was this last season for BB25? Like it was so terrible that they couldn't bring something
Yeah,
else.
and I
The
think like,
innovation.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said the innovation alone, they should have just like something
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
Whoever this team is working on these competitions, I even don't so mind like some of the ones in the beginning. I feel like they could be made into competitions that could work in the house. So I don't mind those either. So yeah, I loved the challenge. And I think it was harder than because Taylor said that what we didn't know is that also the middle would tip as well as the branches. So she said it was not easy. But yeah, I was on pins and needles this entire challenge.
Yeah.
But she finished her tree like that. And then what was the order? I think it was Brittany first. Or
So
first. I don't know. I don't know who was first on. Nicole was first on the other side.
yeah, Nicole was first on the other side. So they do strategize, and Josh says, "Let's drop a bomb on this house," and they go. And so Nicole starts for Team Super Team, and Taylor starts on her tree, and Nicole is having issues right off the bat while
Yeah.
she's doing that. Taylor does finish her tree. She basically had to put 30 ornaments on the branches of the trees. I think she had like um 3 to 5 branches, and I think there had to be an ornament at least on each branch. Um, and so then she gets hers quickly done. Nicole is still having issues, and so Taylor finishes, calls check, and Brittany starts. Nicole and Brittany basically are going head to head. Brittany rings in first.
And here comes Danielle. Let's go.
And then here comes Danielle for Team Misfits / Losers. And at that point, Nicole does ring in. And Xavier comes in and he's like, he has no experience decorating trees, but he's thinking that he could use his length to balance at the same time. But we see here that that is not what happened, right? Danielle basically like balances out her tree really quickly and rings in, and they get a lead while Xavier is having so much difficulty balancing out his branches.
Very much so.
And
And
so
then
go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say something about the next tree.
Oh, I said so next in Taylor like jumps in and he's still having difficulty.
Yeah.
But go ahead, what you were saying.
And then I was saying on the very next tree, we see Danielle finishes before Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taylor's tree, I noticed, has a third branch. Like it got progressively harder. The first 2 trees only had 2 that Danielle and Brittany had to do. And then once we got to the third tree, that was Taylor and I believe Frankie, they had 3 branches that they needed to balance, and they were significantly longer. And that team, Taylor's team, had rightfully chose to stick the taller people with bigger wingspan at the end. So Taylor did hers pretty fast too.
Yeah.
You know?
She gets the top rung done really quickly, and then takes her time with the third, gets it, and rings in. And at that point,
I think X is still there
X is still working,
on the
and
second
Josh
tree while she finished the third.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Josh gets his first branch done without difficulty, but has difficulty bottom 2. But X then finally rings in, and Frankie is tagged in. And at that point, they all start. Super Team starts shitting bricks, but then they realize Josh does his second rung, goes to his third, but drops the entire tree at that point. Well, the tree didn't come over, but every ornament on the tree fell. And so they think that they at that point can maybe get in. But Brittany comes up with a really good suggestion, and at first Josh and Taylor are like, no, they didn't think that would work. But Brittany's suggestion was to go from bottom up instead of doing top down, because as you said, Taylor said the middle was shaking, which would then shake the top when he was working on the bottom. So work on the bottom, and then you're not shaking that middle to shake what was up at the top.
She continued to explain her reasoning as to why she thought that was a better strategy, and they were like, okay, let's try it. Like, Josh, do the bottom,
do the bottom first,
and it worked.
yeah,
and it worked.
it worked. And so Frankie also dropped all of his, and Josh goes bottom up, bottom to the top, and gets it. And they did the most epic celebration ever.
Yeah, Cody did not even get a turn.
Didn't even
get a turn. Like, they finished theirs, and he did not even get a turn to try, which I was grateful for, because if they had stuck him, sooner, I would be a little bit more nervous, I feel like. So yes, that celebration was everything. And we have heard that they celebrated for a full 15 minutes and were absolutely obnoxious about it. That's what we've heard about them celebrating. They were like, it was the best feeling. Right? Deserved. Yes, because as we hear Taylor say, Cody tried to disadvantage them, stick them on a team that he thought would lose, and they still won. They came out on top. So I absolutely loved it, because I was a nervous freaking wreck watching this. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna lose. Taylor's gonna be in the stupid bra. Like, I wanted nothing to do with any of those things. So I was super, super happy. One of my favorite competition wins ever in Big Brother. Like, it was so good. I was so happy because I didn't think that. No, I'm sure plenty of people did not think that team was going to win. I loved it. I loved it.
It was amazing. Josh says this is the biggest confident booster. Cody picked what he thought was the super team, but he gave me the super team. And Taylor says, you can't keep a baddie down. You gave me a disadvantage. You put me on a team that you assembled this super team, this A+ team, and still couldn't beat me. Eat my snow, Cody.
It was beautiful.
I loved it. Everything about their celebration. So Team Misfits for winning this comp, they get to save, or challenge, they get to save one person for Team Super and for safety, and leave the rest of the 3 to play in Santa's Showdown. And I also thought that this was like an excellent win prize, right? Because you're basically leaving whoever to their death at that point, right? And so they meet with each person to listen to the pitch, and Frankie's like, I kept y'all safe yesterday, so don't send me in. Cody's like, nothing. I don't have anything to say. I deserve to go in. I feel so bad for putting them all in this position. And Nicole's like, I'm not a competition beast. Force a big target. It's just like, that is so funny. And so it's just hilarious that that they basically are like having their different reasonings to why they should or should not come in. And then X's reason is, I thought he was just not really giving a real reason, because in his head he was aligned with 3 of them, and he couldn't figure out why he should have to give a reason, I think. So he's basically like, I'm aligned with y'all, choose me, which was weird. And so ultimately they do decide to choose Nicole and let the big guys duke it out. X is really upset. He confronts his alliance because he didn't want to go back into the challenge. And they do tell him that this is not a direct target at him. There was nobody who threw his name out. They just need him to go in and win and split up the other two. And leaving Nicole in would have been a big sacrificial, like leaving a sacrificial lamb in. And so I just, I think he just felt like that it should have been automatic, but I feel like he, at that point was expecting a little too much.
Sorry.
No problem. I think Xavier's thought process of, okay, I'm aligned with three of y'all, so y'all just automatically choose me, was like, I think just a little, how do you say it? Privileged.
Okay, so you're talking about Xavier, them picking Nicole over Xavier.
Yes.
See, okay, I guess we will disagree on this, because if I were Xavier, if I felt I was rocking with Taylor, Danielle, and Josh, of course I would expect them to pick me for safety. And I understand him being frustrated at them not picking him for safety. However, let's use some logic here. If they send in Nicole, Frankie, and Cody, I would feel very likely that Nicole would be the one that goes home, and then we still have Frankie and Cody to deal with. So while X is upset, I don't knock him for being upset. I understand it. I would be upset if the people that I thought I was rocking with over there could keep me safe. And I'm like, no, sorry, Janelle. You have to go in and battle and beat those people. We're going to keep that one safe over there. I would feel some sort of way. I think I wouldn't be mad if Taylor did, Josh did, or Danielle did in that same situation. However, Xavier, we're going to have to snap back and go back with our crew. Yeah, you got thrown to the wolves. You got sent down there to battle. But who else you really going to rock with? Feelings can be hurt all you want, but we got to get back to game now. Let's moving too fast. We're doing too much. So I don't knock him for being upset. I would be upset too. But what he has to do is what I was more so worried about. Okay, we got to get over it though. We got to get over it.
Here is why I am not necessarily giving X the I'm going to be upset at my alliance. You ditched your alliance. You went to the super team. You aligned yourself with Cody and Frankie with no problem of whether that team that you left for dead, all four of them could have went into Santa's Showdown themselves.
Mhm.
And who were you going to save? Because you could only save one. So at the end of the day, which he probably would only save Danielle out of the.
Maybe, but I don't knock him for, like, I would have never, if I was an ex, I would have never said, don't pick me. I would have gone to this. If Cody was like, I'm going to pick you and Frankie, I wouldn't have never said, don't pick me because I want to go play with that team.
But you
I would
can't
have,
then.
Taylor would have happily walked to that team. Josh would have happily, any of them wanted to be on Cody's team because they thought that that was going to be the winning team.
Right? But then
Yes.
you can't want all the rewards, and they get upset when you lose, and then you get upset when you get the punishment. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But he didn't pick himself. Like, I don't think that doesn't matter to me. I expect any of them to try to get on the team that they think is going to win. I expect all those players to do it. And then if any of them were in Xavier's position, I'd be upset too. Pick me. Yo, we're together. Pick me. Xavier didn't have a choice in picking the A squad. He got chosen. Yes. He happily accepted that position. Yes, I would too.
Right.
But then if my
just
team
said to me, you cannot be salty then when you get the punishment because you lost on the A team.
True, but no, the punishment is he lost, but I don't think it's out of the realm for him to be salty for not getting chosen. It's not like he stuck them over there and then was mad that he didn't get picked by them. They were pushed over there by that one over there. So I don't know. I understand him being upset and frustrated that they didn't pick him, because if I were in his position, I would expect them to save me too. Why would I not
understand him acting like his alliance betrayed him at that point because they left him in. That's my opinion. Like, you lost, and now we have to choose and figure out what is our best option, because you were on the A team, to move forward, and their best option to get the two people that they've been saying they need to get rid of out was to leave X in and take Nicole out.
Yeah.
And
And no matter how logical that can feel to somebody, because X is very logical, he still don't want to go back to Stanley.
the funny part is he's
Like,
still
yeah.
he wants to take all the emotion out of play, but he's also an emotional player.
Yeah, I would be the same exact way. Like, I understand being frustrated, but sorry, but my whole thing is X, that's fine. Have your attitude, be mad that they didn't select you. I understand that. But on the flip side, okay, you went to the brawl, you smoked them, you got out first, you're good. Now let's get back to the game and you need to get over it. That's all I really cared about is how he rebounded from it. Get over it, X. We had to send you in. It's the most logical choice. But logic doesn't matter when they're telling you you're the most logical choice. He's not gonna care about logic because he don't want to go. I wouldn't, Taylor wouldn't, Josh wouldn't, Danielle wouldn't, Brittany wouldn't. So I don't blame Xavier in this situation. If he would have come back and be like and did something crazy, like to disadvantage them or not work with them or not help them, which we see is not the case, then I would have been upset with Xavier. But for all this, I don't care.
I do feel like he should less salty unless you were throwing it. Like if the plan was for him to throw it, right, and then they left him in, then I can understand him being salty. But I didn't really understand him being that salty over here that he was willing to throw away his alliance. I felt like, but they do tell him, listen, you weren't a direct target. We just need you to win and break up these two, like go in there, do what we know you can do, win and come back.
And that was Taylor's whole motivation. She
Yeah.
said that. She wanted X to stay around so she could use him as a weapon. And that is exactly what they did in this situation. She tweeted, got to know the role you got on the team. And then this week, for this challenge, they, not Xavier, they decided that Xavier's role was hopefully going to be able to eliminate one of Frankie or Cody.
And who would know
I mean,
better?
and Danielle says this to him in the very next episode. That's all it was. So.
And who would know better but Taylor, because she was used as a quote unquote weapon, but in Big Brother, it's a pawn to help get their enemies out multiple times. And while some people felt like that was a disadvantage, it literally was her advantage in the game because she always stayed on the block and she always came off and she always got the target out, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that is kind of what she was looking for X to do here in this situation. So we do
Let's
get
be
this,
real.
yeah.
Sorry, X wasn't in ever once the cookout was formed and really a serious thing. X was never in danger. He never had to worry about going home. Not until we got to the top 6 was he ever at risk, and still he never touched the block. So yeah, he's just not. That's
I mean,
also something he's not used to.
he did touch the block. Remember, he was a third nominee.
No. What I mean is, I don't think he touched the block post cookout top 6
Oh,
for
okay.
elimination. It was like Tiffany, Hannah, Kylie. I don't know who Hannah sat next to after the double. Hannah and somebody, and then Kai and somebody. It wasn't X because X was HOH. Kai and
I think it
Ozza.
was Hannah and Derek, right?
Yeah, and then Kai and Ozza. So he was never in any real danger. So this is his first taste of that medicine, while multiple people on that cast had lots of experience with that. Xavier did not.
So we do see Santa's showdown there is a workshop full of toys and a list of 5 picky kids, and they need their toys chosen and placed in their present boxes. And once the presents are perfectly picked out, they are to ring in and see if they got the answers right. They're only allowed to pick one present at a time, and they then will look to see if they got the right answer. A wrong answer will result in a red light, and they will have to figure out where they went wrong. The player in last place is going home. And so we do see They both all reading the list. They're all like kind of running around. We do see Cody get his first toy in first, and then uh, Xavier gets two toys in after that. While it's looked like Cody was like stuck, and then we see Frankie get two toys in, but he knew that one of the toys were wrong, but they were like similar toys, but he knew that one of them were wrong. But ultimately, X rings in first and is wrong, and he knew that he had potentially placed the wrong toy in, and he realizes that he needed to grab a telescope, and in grabbing the telescope, Frankie sees him grab the telescope and copies him, and also grabs the telescopes and places it in a present. But X does at that point win the challenge first, and so it is down to Frankie and Cody. And we do see Frankie goes back, and the two presents that he knew one of them was wrong, he swaps out for a teddy bear for a horse, and he also wins, eliminating Cody. And Frankie was so happy until he saw Cody's face, and then he was upset. Taylor is ecstatic. She got what she wanted. Josh is saying, "This opens up the game. This is big." And Nicole says she lost an ally. She has to work harder now. And so Cody does pick his present from under Santa's tree, and he gets the fruit cake. And he says he doesn't regret his decision on his super team. And so he would pick them up in pick them out in 9 out of 10 times, or 10 out of 10, whatever he said. He just didn't regret it. I was like, all right, that's bye.
You lost. Bye.
You
Okay.
lost.
Bye, Cody. That was another great episode. I absolutely loved the Misfits coming back. Absolutely loved it. Great, like epic ending. Because I was nervous. This is why I like spoilers, so I could chill. Because I was on level 10 watching this. My husband's like, really, Janelle? Do you have to scream like that? I'm like, yes, I do. Because I was so nervous. I was like, really, I was just like, come on, the whole time. Big Brother is my sport.
And cussing up a storm. It was great.
It was such a good episode. That is like my favorite episode, like out of the three. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. And Taylor's role is going to be a gift that I will use for all of eternity now.
Yeah. Episode 3, we do see alliances are forming. Nicole and Taylor locked in. Did this shock you?
No, because she's a girl. No, not at all. They agreed to like look out for each other, right? Like
so they agreed to not target each other again. They're, Taylor's the ultimate girl's girl, and Nicole is her Michiganer sister, so she trying to target her.
Who is notoriously not a girl's girl. Right. However, it seems this season she is trying to work with a woman. She made up with Brittany. She did lock this in with Taylor, and we have not seen her go back on it as of yet.
Right. So the ladies all say they have an understanding, right? And so Danielle, though, is talking to X, and she's reassuring him that what happened the day before wasn't them discounting him or throwing him to the wolves. They needed him to go in and break up that duo. And he just says he thinks the only person he has in this is her, and that he has to do whatever he can to protect her, because if she leaves, he'll be by himself. And she's like, no, you have Josh and Taylor. Like, it's not a case of them not having you. We just needed you to perform a certain task yesterday.
Yeah. And the problem is Xavier, but that task is putting my neck at risk, and I don't always want to be performing the task. I wouldn't either. You know, but yeah, he needs to, like Danielle said, you're good with us. We are not targeting you. Right. So yeah, hopefully Xavier can trust a little bit in that now. after, you know.
But we do see that Brittany and Nicole notice that X and Danielle are really close.
Yeah.
And they don't really trust her to stick to the four
Yeah.
women in the house. And they think that she can use, particularly Nicole, that she can use X to take them out eventually.
Mm. Which would be goofy though, because why would Danielle get rid of Nicole and Jordan to fight against X in the end? Why would she ever do that?
I don't know,
You know?
especially since Brittany should know she was her number one, right? Like, I don't think Brittany knew about the four. So if you don't know about, the Fantastic Four, then how would you think that she would be using X to take you out unless you just never trusted her and you didn't trust your final two?
I think that she was just worried that uh, if you watch Danielle, she's going to make whatever optimal move she feels for herself. So maybe she just, I don't know, because to me, Danielle was just setting herself up to rock with this. If y'all win, I'm good, or
Mhm.
if y'all win, I'm good. As you should. That's what a
That's
good
true.
player does. But she can look at them and recognize the closeness and be nervous. I might too. I don't knock her for being nervous about it, but what I would have hoped that she would do is think logically. Do you really think that Danielle would knock the two of you out, who she would have a better shot against? And this is not a vote, like, in a physical comp, she would have a better chance against you two than she would X.
Yeah.
So while she might be in with X, it doesn't mean that she's not going to rock with y'all when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
we do see
unfortunately, she didn't get to show that, but
we do see the doorbell ring, and it's DX. He is our second elf
thank God.
episodes. And we see X and Taylor run to him, and X pick him up, and he does introduce himself. He is from Big Brother 23. He is dating Clear from his season, and he did win the Amazing Race. I don't even know if that was in his intro package. Him and Claire did win Amazing Race. I don't think it was, but it should have been. He's a millionaire. And so we do see him introduce the Naughty and Nice, which is the Christmas crooner is coming. He has been recently dumped, and they have to figure out why his girlfriend dumped him. And so there's a bunch of scrambled letters around the lodge, and he does give them a few clues, and they have to take the scrambled letters, unscramble them,
I
and
thought that was hard.
I'm
Because
pretty sure
there,
scrambled, so it might not be hard for me.
oh, it would be hard for me. It wouldn't be hard. I think it would be less hard for me if all the letters were together.
Mm-hmm.
But for the fact that there were three there and two, there's no way my memory would serve me here. I just know myself. Like, I'd be like, wait, I'll be terrible. Just no way.
When who was it that first called, when Brittany first called out like the first two lines, I and the last line was still scrambled, I got it.
Yeah. And I thought it was important to note that we saw Taylor, Josh, Danielle were working together. And
Mhm,
then we saw what? Frankie, Brittany, Nicole working together on this
mhm.
puzzle as groups. I don't know where X was.
I don't know where X was
I
at
don't remember him being involved in either
all.
crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they clearly gravitated towards each other and were working this challenge together. And we do see Taylor figure it out. And she hightailed it to that phone. Tamika, all it was her ponytail. Like, as soon as she figured out like what it was, her ponytail, like, I screenshotted it. Her ponytail was like, there was no Taylor, but I saw the end of her ponytail. She went so fast
Yeah.
to run to announce that
So we
clue.
do see Josh and Taylor like going like discussing it back and forth, and like the way it just something just clicked in Taylor's head, and she's just like psh,
Clingy? Phew.
yeah. And
So
she
funny.
brings up the phone, and she says the magic words, and she does win the Naughty and Nice challenge for the day. And so she gets an advantage going into the next challenge, and she gets to give a disadvantage.
Disadvantage or something. And then we see, which I thought was pretty impressive, um, Taylor's allies were coming up to her like, you could just give it to me. We don't want you to have to disadvantage somebody else. Like
Yeah,
X said, you could just give it to me. Josh said you could just give it to me, as to not make her put a target on her back.
right. So we
Homegirl
do
social
hear,
game is socialing.
yeah, so we do hear from her though that her new target, now that Cody's gone, bye bye, is Frankie of all
Yeah.
people. So I don't know if she got wind that Frankie threw her under the bus to Cody. I don't know what, but her new target is Frankie, or just seeing that fact that he's so comp beastie. She's just like, Frankie got to go, right?
Mhm.
And so the only thing is, she's aligned with Frankie. She's actually aligned with every single person in the house.
Yeah.
And we see it throughout the conversations that she's going to have, that she is aligned with everybody in the house, and she doesn't want to target the girls. But thankfully, as Janelle said, her two biggest male allies come to her and said, give it to me. X says it and Josh says it. And she had already kind of thought in her head she might have to give it to Josh. And so he helped solidify he would get the
The
naughty.
disadvantage. Yep.
And so she does give it to him, and he takes it on the chin. And what it ends up being, because they go into the Jingle Bell Brawl, and it is what is known as the tiny veto comp.
Yeah.
And this time it is the tiny puzzle comp. And so it is like a little window box where they have to build a puzzle. Unlike with the tiny Vito where they're stacking bottles, they have to stack up a puzzle together and make a gingerbread. And they have like a little like outline of what it,
Diagram.
yeah, should look like on the side of their house.
Hmm.
Um, and so for Josh, his disadvantage is his is covered up. He can't see it for what, like
5 minutes.
5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he can't see it. And so he's just building blind. And I think Taylor got like a 2 minute head
2 minute
start.
head start.
Yeah.
Yep. Which didn't even matter because that was challenge. They were so pissed at that challenge.
Yeah.
They were so, and it was funny to me that they were so incredibly frustrated. Like it was written all over all of their faces. They absolutely hated it. Watching those things fall, and then Nicole to get it, and then to have it wrong was torture. I was like, oh, I'd be so mad. You have to take it apart. Yeah, it was. I don't. And this is not a comp I really enjoy watching. I still have Big Brother 23 trauma from this stupid comp.
Yeah.
So I, I don't
And
like
it was
this.
only introduced in what, like 2022?
I think so. Davon won it and she won a vetoes. That's why it's really a big deal because
Yeah.
it was something against Cody's alliance at the time because nothing was coming against that alliance at all.
Yeah,
So
so but the way they changed it was, instead of stacking bottles, they made it a puzzle, so it
puzzle
kind of made it harder.
harder, yes.
So
They were mad. They're like a stacking challenge and a puzzle. Like, come
yeah,
on. I think they said that it went for over 2 hours.
yeah. Josh was upset because when by the time his 5 minutes came down and he pulled up a thing, he had it all wrong. It was just like, damn. And then, like Janelle said, Nicole had swapped the eyes on hers, and Taylor said that was actually the second time that she got it wrong, and she had to like try start it over again. And Danielle was cussing. This was the first time she ever did it. She thought it was going to be cool, but it like they were all just like over it. And so Nicole does ultimately win this. And so she does win safety going into Santa's showdown. And so
And this
they,
is the first time it gave somebody safety, right?
no, they have safety.
Well,
They got safety the last time.
well on the first one,
Yeah, the first one Frankie had was safe.
okay, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
And so they do tell her that she has to pick somebody to go into the comp, and that it's going to be a Tom comp, and that every time a new person goes into this comp, they lose a minute from the comp.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you have to choose whether to send an enemy in or an ally in, because if you send an ally in, they get more time. If you send an enemy in, they get less time if you send them in later, but more time if you send them in earlier, which kind of
And to
screw you.
pick the next person who you might not like their choice.
Right. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the way that this was coming, because now we're down to what, 7?
Yeah.
Everybody could have went into this comp at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And they didn't even know what the comp was. They just knew about the timing and that Nicole was safe. So, Frankie says, he's fine with going in. Brittany at first was kind of like fine with going in, but then it was kind of like, well, no, maybe send, who was it that they wanted to send alternatively in?
Over who?
Oh, it's X. I think
I think X did not want to go first, which I don't understand. You should want to go first.
right.
But I think I don't know. I don't remember what you're saying, but I think she wanted to send Brittany first to give her the best shot, and Brittany didn't want it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we do see they then go and introduce the comp, and it is the hamster wheel of death. I'm not really sure what the the actual comp is, but it is a like, those old like puzzles where you have to like get the little ball to
Ball.
get into the middle of the puzzle. It's like that, but it's facing this way, and it's basically a hamster wheel which you had to move to try to get the puzzle piece into the middle. And
Very, very interesting comp.
very intricate. And they all, the top time was what, 4 minutes and 30 something seconds, or 5 minutes and 30 something seconds, I think it was started.
5:30, 5:30, 4:33, 32, 30,
Yeah.
1:30. Yeah.
So once they all saw it, basically the decision was made that Frankie would go first, and she would send an ally in to give him the best shot. And we do see Frankie go in, and at first it looked like it wasn't going to do well, but he did do it in like 2 minutes.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went fast.
And then Frankie decides, okay, who we're going to send in next, and they all decide to send in X.
Which was goofy to me.
Well, Frankie was like to X, I'm going to give you more time. Like, this is me buying curry and
That
favor.
wasn't his intention, but yes, he said that.
And he's like, if he goes, he goes. But, at the end of the day.
If not, he made an ally. Yeah.
And we do see X needed all of that time. X went in, and it took him like 4 minutes and change, 4:16. He comes out of the comp, and he's basically like to them, yeah, whoever's left, you're screwed. There's no way. There's no
He
way.
really believed that. And DX talked a little bit about like X's performance on RHAP. I really can't remember what he said.
He
but
said
he said
that
X,
he got hung up in, like, there's a part in the middle that he got hung up, and because he was using all his muscles to like go really fast, it was pushing the piece past where it needed to go.
right. And also he said he had decided to take it slow and steady and not rush. So I feel like if he would have been down a one and he had to go faster, he could have. I don't know. He just read that all wrong.
Yeah.
Because he really thought he was sending who he chose next into the death. Because Taylor went to him and was like, I don't even think that was on the episode. She told us that. But Taylor went to him and was like, oh, how is it? And he was like, nope, whoever I sent. She's like, all right, bye. Like, bye, Brittany. She thought like she had the opportunity to decide whether or not she wanted to go into that spot. So X decides to pick Brittany. And but wait, let me back up. Her begging. I've said this on social media in a couple of places. I was so uncomfortable with her begging. Just the way she begged. I was like, I don't know how, if she was speaking to me, how I would have handled that. I feel like I would want to run away. Like, stop. Like, this is too much. Like, come on. What did you think of it?
I thought it was funny.
I understand you're fighting for your life, but like just the delivery of it made me uncomfortable.
I thought it was funny.
I was like, oh my God.
I was personally died laughing because she's sitting there begging for her life, and Xavier's sitting there like here, like giving her nothing. He's like, okay, I can't promise, like, I don't know, like, because he's sending her in.
I know. I was just like, I don't know how I would react. She's like, please don't. I was like, oh my God, Brittany. That's how I felt, just so uncomfortable. And I just don't know how I personally would handle if somebody was coming at me like that. I'd be like, I don't
So
know.
we
I didn't like it.
so we do see he sends Brittany in, and Brittany's like basically dead woman walking, and so
She was pissed.
she was pissed
I was
and
shocked at how much
crying.
she was pissed too.
Yeah, it like she was so upset because she had told him like I haven't won this game, don't send me in, blah blah blah. But he like the rest of the people that he was there is his alliance, so he did ultimately protect his alliance because that's who
Right.
was left: Josh Taylor and Danielle, and he did not want to risk them. And Nicole had safety, so he does send Brittany in, and Brittany does this in what like a
Half
minute
the
and
time.
change.
Yeah. She flew through it. Flew through it.
And we do see like Taylor and Josh celebrating because they think
I
it's over.
listen, when they fist pumped and he spun her around, I was like it was just so cute because those two are a duo that I didn't expect. Like I didn't think
Yes,
it wouldn't happen, but I just didn't expect it. I don't know. So I love seeing them celebrate because they're thinking, "Oh my God, we're safe! Like we don't have to do the will of death. Like we are good."
yes.
And little do they know.
Like even when they were doing the Naughty and Nice challenge together, I had said I was like, wow, this is such a cool duo. I really like them together.
Ew.
I did not see it coming. And so even when they were spinning, he was spinning her around. I was like, no, wait, no, not yet, not that yet.
Yeah.
There's
Like
too
put her
much
down,
time
Josh.
left.
Yeah, there's too much time left in this episode. As I was like, put her down, Josh. Somebody's gonna see you. Yeah, because when they heard the noise that indicated that she did it, they're like, oh
Oh,
hell.
yeah.
They're so
Oh
mad.
my god, it was so bad. And so then we do see that Brittany tells Taylor that it can be done. She did it in half the time. And so Taylor's like, okay, so then I'd rather go now, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
And she offers herself up to do it instead of going last, right?
Yeah.
And we do see though that Brittany had already been targeting uh, uh, Danielle earlier, right? Like, because she had told Frankie to send in Danielle, but he instead sent in X, right? Because Taylor was sending him to saying to him to send in one person, and
Mhm.
uh, Brittany was telling him to send in another person, and Danielle was telling him to send somebody else, and he ended up sending in X. And so, yeah, like ultimately here we do see Brittany was like, why did I go in? Who told you to go in? Told you to send me in? But we know that Danielle didn't tell nobody to send her in. X was insisting that he was protecting Danielle and refused to send Danielle in. And we know he has an alliance with Josh and Taylor, so he's not going to send them in either. It would the
Yeah,
only
he's thinking he's sending whomever. He was wrong,
right,
right?
right.
But he's thinking he's sending whomever to their death. So of course he doesn't want to send an ally. And he told Brittany that he chose to send Danielle because he was trying to protect her, and that I think solidified it in Brittany's mind
Mm-hmm.
what she was going to do here. You know?
I mean, she was already targeting Danielle. Danielle was never ever targeting her. Um, and I think X thought that he was saying it to her in a way that, as far as I know, you and her are aligned. So you and her would like if
It
you
shouldn't
ride
upset
with
you
her,
that I
I'm
was
riding
trying
with
to.
you.
Right. Yes. I think X was thinking I'm going to be open with Brittany about this because I also see her connected to Danielle.
Yeah.
So she would appreciate that I was trying to protect her. But unfortunately, Danielle's brain went or Brittany's brain went the other way. I was shocked. I was
It was
shocked that
sad.
she did that.
It was sad. So at the end of the day, we do see
But
Danielle go into this challenge.
but wait, pause. Who like had Brittany chosen Taylor, I have full confidence that Taylor could have completed
Oh,
that.
Taylor would have completed this.
But I don't know who Taylor would have been stuck between Danielle and Josh, and I think she would have picked Josh over Danielle. I wouldn't have liked that either. Like I don't like how it turned out at all. And I'm trying to think like what could have happened differently. I wish Frankie would have picked. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe if Frankie
It
would
was
have taken
all wrong. The fact that it came down to this was all wrong, in my opinion.
yes,
Oh.
it was bad. It was bad. I did not like that at all.
And so yeah, no, it was all wrong. I did not like this challenge. It was terrible.
It was such an interesting comp, and I really hope that they work this. Like they're never gonna. Um,
Someone called it a safety chain, like what we saw with BB Can, which I think it is kind of similar because at this point somebody gonna go.
Right. So they couldn't do it because they couldn't at the end it couldn't result in somebody going home, but like what could it result in? That's what I don't know.
I
Like
don't
you
know.
give like maybe the last person ends up on the block, but I don't necessarily love that either. I don't know how I would implement it into real Big Brother,
Mhm,
but it needs to be implemented and I loved it. I love the strategy of it and
mhm.
figuring out like what is best to do because you might think it's smart to send your ally and they could fail. You
Yeah.
never know.
Woo, woo.
I did not expect X to take as long as he did,
No,
you know?
no, not at all.
So,
Um, and so we do see that Danielle goes in, and he had like 2 minutes and change on the time,
2:30.
and she goes
And
in.
let's also note she was very defeated going into that,
She was very
unfortunately.
defeated.
Very.
And then when she tried to move the wheel, which again, like she's tiny, I understand that. I'm a pretty tiny person. She had a hard time moving the wheel, like to the point where she was like on the floor and she was trying to like crawl the wheel. And then eventually she did get it going, but then she was like moving the wheel. She was getting through the puzzle, and she had like you could tell she had it. Like she just needed more time, but she did
Tamika,
not.
all I hear is Tiffany and Taylor's reenactment of this. And I do not want to laugh because they had me on the floor. But DX said on RHAP if she would have had 10 more seconds, she would have gotten it, which
Mhm,
was even more crushing. But
mhm.
then if she would have gotten it, I think it would have been jaw. I don't know, but it just sucked all around.
It
Like
sucked all around. It
all
sucked all
around, it just
around.
sucked.
So we do see that Danielle is eliminated from the BB Reindeer games, and she is pissed. She's so upset. She got thrown on the bus by what she thought was her girl she was riding with, um,
Yeah.
which is Nicole and Brittany. And she goes in, she kind of hugs everybody. She goes and picks her present from under the tree and gets the 5K. She picks
So
the
happy
big
for
present.
her.
She picked the big present, which coincidentally had the 5K in it. And so
Yeah.
I was happy for her. It was a little bit of a solace, but we do see Taylor is crying and torn up about it. Josh is crying and torn up. X is really
Really
crying.
crying.
It was sad. It was terrible. I'm like, now they gotta exact revenge for Daniel.
I'm really for the people that I would like to be successful. I'm really hoping one of Frankie, Nicole, or Brittany leave next week, preferably Frankie. Not that I don't love that guy. I
Or
absolutely
tomorrow,
love.
right?
Yes, absolutely loving him on the show, loving everything he's giving,
Oh
but
yeah,
he's too good.
yes,
Well, you're too good, Frankie. So you got to go
that's
for
the best.
who I would like to see succeed. So it's
Yeah,
nothing personal. I absolutely love Frankie.
yeah. And so we do see Danielle leave, and I to me it's like the game is wide open still. But I agree, Frankie has to go. But I've enjoyed all 3 episodes. We have 3 more episodes this week. I think they're all 1 hour episodes, which is crazy because like one of them is a finale. There's still what 6 people left, and
Yeah,
they somehow got to get down to 4.
yeah,
Um, it's gonna be wild. So I can't wait. Then so we will be back sometime at the end of the week
yeah.
to discuss these last 3 episodes. I'm excited. We'll discuss who wins. We'll discuss how they can translate this to BB 26, hopefully. But thank you guys for joining us. Janelle, can you tell the people where they can find you?
Yep, it's same as always. I'm just Janelle Michaud on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Janelle Michaud. covering this with you now, and that's all I have going for now is talking about reindeer games, which we swore we would never do.
Yeah, and you can follow me everywhere on Entertainment in Color everywhere. And guys, yes, covering reindeer games for the next week, and then next month, Love Island All Stars start. So gonna cover that. And Traders US is going to be starting next month and on January 12th, and I'm sure I'm going to be covering that.
That trailer looks epic.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think we'll both be covering it together, but we'll see how that works out. And I think that's the only two things that are coming out and that I can think of that is coming out that I will definitely be covering. I will probably do next week my 3-part series on Twin Love from Amazon Prime as well. So you can join us for that. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying Big Brother Reindeer Games. If you have not watched it and you're just watching our recap, go watch it. It's so good.
very
And
good.
we will see you at the end of the week. Thank you guys for joining us.
Bye, guys.